You guys want to sit down and get started? We may as well. It's 7 o'clock or close enough to it. Again, much apologies for the short notice. We weren't sure we were going to have a meeting this month or not, and they decided to throw it together at last minute. So we very much apologize. Eddie could not be here. He had to go out of town for work, kind of suddenly. So I'm going to kick this off the best I can, you guys. Hang on a second. What? She needs to go up. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, she needs to go quick. So my name is Bill. I'm sure most of you know me. Tim Kreis, Patrick over here. There's pretty much the board members that are going to be here tonight. Harley may be here a little bit later to give us an update on Santa stops, but we'll see if she doesn't. I'll try to fill in. Introduce our Highway Patrol officers, Officer Austin, Officer Chavez. His first name is his first name is his last name, so I get it mixed up. Anyways, welcome to these guys. Sheriff deputies are supposed to be here, but so far they haven't showed up. Real quick, do you guys have any questions for law enforcement? Anybody got anything they want to talk to the Highway Patrol about? Nothing? Well, the sheriff hopefully will be here. They're on their way. At least according to my text, they're on their way.
But, Bill, on Thursday morning...
They just walked in. Thursday morning, go.
On the east side of Ocean Gate. Normally it's no parking at all, but it's from 9 to 11.
Right.
It's legally parked.
Okay.
My question is going to be is, do the people that patrol the ticket people...
Parking enforcement.
Do they go back after 11 o'clock and look and see if people are legally...
That question's come up many times. I've never seen them do that, but it is they're within their purview if they happen to circle back around for whatever reason, because the sign is no parking from to. But I have not ever seen them do that. But to answer your question, they could,
Well, they should.
Well, okay. There's people parked there.
Like every Thursday, I go to Del Air Park and I go up Ocean Gate. And because Ocean Gate is like a mini freeway.
Right.
People are just flying.
Right.
And normally 2 cars can pass. But when there's a car parked on the east side, car parked on the west side, and
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's a flip side of the argument. Then there's the flip side of the argument that residents, once the street sweeper is passed, they want to be able to park there because their thought is.
That after 11 o'clock, they're supposed to be off the east side.
Right.
And they're not.
Right.
That's my issue.
Well, I would suggest you send Les Green an email. He's the parking enforcement supervisor, and just lay it out to him and see if he can't maybe get his people to make a second round,
Do you know if parking enforcement is under Public Works or it's still under the
It's
sheriff?
still under the sheriff.
Because the lady that was here, I think 2 meetings ago.
Right.
And they were talking about the
Right.
RV.
That all got squashed. They were going to go to Public Works. They had all these things being worked out and in the works, and then somewhere along the way it got basically squashed and it kind of went back to the sheriff to control parking enforcement.
Because I told her what the situation was.
Yeah.
And I never seen any action.
Yep. Anybody else? Any more questions? Go ahead. Go, Bob.
When you guys cruise our neighborhood, suggestion would be to, between 12 midnight and 2 a.m., cruise down Los Angeles and 131st, because there's got to be parties going on behind the chain link fence up on the freeway side there. Is there so much press creating? And I have four calls I've done to have graffiti removed
Yeah. Blaze and I were talking about that.
They both the one by me, and you just put a different lock on it, much easier, and then stopped it, took the out and cut it off. Yes, no, they need to put easier locks, because they're just taking sledgehammer and breaking my lock.
Blaze, maybe you could pass along to the night guys and maybe roll through the hood at night and see what they see something.
Or they cut the chain link fence.
They do that all the time.
Anybody else, any other questions? We're going to deviate real quick. I'm going to put the sheriff deputies on hold for a second, and we're going to let Ara speak because she has to catch a plane. So come on up, Ara. You guys all know Ara, right? Our rep from the supervisor's office.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ara An, and I'm from Supervisor Holly Mitchell's office. And I'm going to catch flight at 10:30 p.m. But I wanted to come here because, I wanted to connect with you all. I just passed out resource list flyer. We have it in English and Spanish, but I think most group speak English here, so I brought the English version. I saw that Eddie, he kindly forwarded to the Wiseburn Watch email listserv. If you want the Spanish version, we have forwarded the English and digital versions there, so you can check that as well. And this is something that I connected with local school district, check with our policy staff, and compile. So hopefully this is helpful. And feel free to share with others because as we know, information sharing can go a long way and people miss out because they simply don't know, right? So here's that. And I think we have staff from, TTC and anyone from DEO? Oh, okay, sounds good. I think a few staff from DEO should be coming. Because I can attend only in the beginning, I ask other colleagues to be here and support if he can. He is wrapping up something right now, so unless that meeting lasts long, he should be stepping in at any moment or, if he can come. But another thing I wanted to share is I want to appreciate Wiseburn Watch for having Christmas event across the community, and donating candy cane has been something that I have been doing personally, and I'm happy to do that for my community. So I'll work with Eddie and others to coordinate that. I'm really looking forward to the Christmas event. But I don't want to take too much time, but county has been focusing on food distribution efforts because as most of you may have heard, there are federal workers that went on without 2 payroll periods. That's pretty long. We know that some of the people that receive certain benefits, they're seniors, disabled people, and many soldiers have to line up too. So the changes are interesting, but with holidays, we want to make sure people have resources for their well-being. So I'll wrap it up there, but Bill, thank you so much for making time for me, and I'll pass it back to you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, sorry. I'm going to be back December 1st, Monday. So the week of Thanksgiving, I'll be out, but I can be reached out, and soon after Thanksgiving, I'll be available again, so I can connect with you to provide assistance. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Okay, introductions that just showed up. We have Lieutenant Giggles from our sheriff station, Deputy Lupins, Sergeant, I don't remember your name, sorry. Sarah, that's it. And I don't know you two guys. Okay, all right. You guys have any questions for the sheriff? Nobody has questions for the sheriff? None whatsoever? Tanya, did you want to maybe have somebody talk about crime stats or anything, or just? Okay, all right, go, John. You can, if you want to holler, go ahead. You want to come up here with the mic? Okay.
Crime stats, we had one aggravated assault, so a vehicle was struck, or a suspect was struck in the vehicle. They were arrested. We had a grand theft automobile, a 2012 Cadillac, that was also in 1019. And then we had 2 thefts from the vehicle, Cadillac converter from a Prius and a Corolla.
Lace, Austin, thank you guys. We'll talk. You out of here? Yeah. You go home. I think we're good, man. Nobody had any questions. You got a long drive home, so go. We'll talk, guys. Oh, we got lots of, did you get my text? Okay, okay. Anybody? Nothing? Really? No questions for the sheriff? Everything's going hunky-dory? Okay.
Does Blaze pass on that information I said about 131st?
He will. He'll talk to the night crew. I'll make sure of it. Yes, thank you, guys, by all means. Anytime we see you guys patrolling is... Anytime we see you guys patrolling, we always appreciate it, we really do. You know, drive through as much as you can. Okay. All right, then moving on. You guys, if you want to go, you can go. You can go do what you got to do. Thanks for coming, you guys. Very appreciate it. Thanks, John. Let me know about that guy.
He said he wants to talk to you.
Well, bring him over. I'll talk to him. Okay. Public health. Did you guys have something you wanted to say? Or are you just going to be here for answer questions? Or you got something kind of... You want the mic? This room has a horrible echo. That's why we have the mic.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, community. My name is Gail Morrison. I'm from LA County Public Health, and I have here with me Joshua Trapezoinian, also from Public Health. We work with the Environmental Health Division. I'm one of the managers, and I oversee the Plan Check program as well as the mobile food program. The mobile food program goes out to conduct inspections of the food trucks, as well as the unpermitted sidewalk food vendors that are out there as well, and the carts that you see as well on the street. But I'll turn it over to Joshua to go a little bit more into what we do in terms of complaint response.
All right, thank you. So yes, so I'm the chief in charge of the mobile food program. So upon receipt of any kind of complaint regarding unpermitted sidewalk vending, we will hang on to that complaint. We will reach out to local law enforcement and typically conduct a enforcement detail with them. Some of you have kind of indicated that right now we are on pause. That pause is indicated due to worker safety. However, we are still continuing to take complaints, and we are looking at ways of addressing those complaints outside of the traditional enforcement action. So we are approaching vendors with outreach material, trying to get them into permitted carts. This was a change in the law back in last year in January, so that allows them to operate safely and legally within the County of Los Angeles. And so we are trying to funnel them into that pipeline as well. We are also continuing to go after larger scale productions. I know Hawthorne doesn't typically see too many of that, or at least we haven't received too many complaints about that, but if you are observing any kind of unpermitted food vending, I would invite you to still continue to call in, let us know, and know that your complaints will be addressed.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
So, not a problem. So that would, you want what, complaint line or just direct line? Direct line, yeah, you can call me directly. So it's area code 626-430-5500. And that's our program's direct line. So one question I do kind of get a lot is, well, we see them everywhere, so they just assume that they're legal, right? Or how do you identify what is and isn't safe to eat if you're seeing sidewalk vending? One of the key things you want to look for is any kind of county seal, a grade, any kind of placard or material that identifies that this has been inspected by a county office. If you want to see an example of what one looks like, I would invite you to check our website. We do have examples of what those would look like. One thing that we would not be able to permit would be a series of tents, like when we call pop-ups, I'm talking about the pop-up tents, maybe a grill on the sidewalk with a prep table. We would not be able to permit something like that. Anything permitted by the county, it has to go through Plan Check, where they check to ensure that it conforms to California build standards, usually something that would be rigid, all enclosed, one kind of platform or device, like a cart. If there's any open food prep, you would see a hand washing sink. You know, at any time, that's kind of a bare minimum. We want people to be able to wash their hands when they're preparing your food. Gloves are not a substitute. Likewise, if food needs to be kept at a controlled temperature, there needs to be mechanical means of doing that, meaning they have a refrigerator or they have a hot steam table if the food was prepared off-site. If they don't have any of that, the food should be pre-packaged and handled with utensils and handed to you. An example of that might be something like a tamale still in its husk, a hot dog still within some kind of wrapper or container. That would be an example of some hot food. Cold food, maybe prepackaged ice cream, things like that. If you saw something like that, they would not require a sink because there is no handling of actual food. Okay? Again, if you do see something and you have a question about it, I would invite you to call our office and we can kind of look it up, let us kind of see about that. But one thing I would say is, while we can go out and try to address the supply as often as possible, the other thing is we have to look at the demand. So if there's demand in the public for that kind of food, I want to address it and let you guys know what is and isn't safe to eat. Okay, anything else? You good? All right, questions?
I have a question.
Fire away.
Is my understanding that the new vending ordinance, you're not allowing stationary vendors in the unincorporated, correct? Or somebody's
In residential
in a residential area.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they're not allowed, yeah, in residential areas, correct. Yeah, at no matter, residential or otherwise, they would need access also to an approved bathroom within 200 feet of where they're operating, unless they have like a bunch of employees. So typically, no, these are one-man operations. So yes, you're right. If you saw them in a residential area, they're not allowed in an incorporated. So,
35th Notion Game, we've had this guy there every day.
fruit vendor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5
We've
years.
been out
And
there.
he's still there.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Where is the enforcement?
Oh, no, we've addressed it. We've gotten that complaint. We've gone out before.
And
Our enforcement is limited by state law. I can't, for example, I can't take his equipment. I can't arrest him. I can't even send him in through the court system. It's not, what can I do? So when we are able to address those types of vendors, what we are able to do is if we observe any unsafe food, we will dispose of it. And then we will provide a written corrective action report called an official inspection report to the operator. One thing we direct them to do is we direct them to discontinue operating in an unsafe manner without a public health permit. We'll also schedule a compliance review with them to come in, speak with me in the office, and that's where I'll kind of go over their permittable options, how to try to get them into the funnel pipeline. If they're not interested in that, I can't force them into that. And so, yes, I do understand that we'll go out, we'll potentially cite them as well, and they just show up the next day, and it's the cost of them doing business. But we will continue to go out and we will continue to address it.
But again, like I was telling you about the enforcement.
Sure.
From a community point of view,
Mhm.
Here you've got this guy.
Right?
He's in front of these people's house who have lived there for 30 years. 30 years they've lived in this community, paid their taxes.
Mhm.
Now suddenly out of nowhere, this guy shows up every day on their front parkway and sells food.
Right.
It's cash. He's not paying any taxes.
I know.
It's just, it's beyond frustrating, and how you guys cannot enforce, at least from our perspective, your own freaking code.
Well, we're able to enforce it, but we can't be there every day, and so there's nothing I can do to prevent him from reoffending. And I understand he'll come back out, you can call us, we'll go out, we will address it.
But again, at 5 years, right, Tim, you've been here about 5 years now, hasn't you? Probably. 5 years, I would think there'd be something you guys could do. Either if he's not gonna comply, he hasn't done it, he's not gonna do it.
Right.
He's been there 5 years. He's not gonna follow your rules. It's time to amp up the game.
But again, I can't make rules
Well,
up.
who can?
That would be your probably what, state rep?
So you're telling me this is permissible all up and down the
There
state?
were two major bills that were passed at the state level. SB 946, which is the one that decriminalized street vending. It stripped us of the ability to write them a misdemeanor ticket. And then there's also SB 972, which provides at least the legal pipeline for us to get them into something that is permittable.
What is it incorporated cities can deal with it? If this guy were in Hawthorne doing what he does, he wouldn't last 24 hours.
I can't speak to what other cities are able. I can't sit there and compare apples to oranges.
Why
I understand.
can't the county do the same thing?
They don't want to, Bill.
Oh, no, it has a,
Clear, yeah, we know that.
Do you guys issue the admin cites when you go out?
yeah, administrative citations, absolutely.
Is there fines attached?
Of course there are.
Bill, tell
But
the
there's
residents before you
limitations
put
to those
sprinklers
fines,
out
or?
on the sidewalk.
No, they're reoccurring. The issue is, sometimes, like I said, the business is so good, that's just the cost of them doing business, is paying our citations.
But what's, is there a ceiling on that, or are they progressive? How does that work with the fines?
No, there's no, I mean, it's the straight fee every time we go out.
So it's the same amount,
Yeah.
there's nothing progressive?
Correct.
If you've done it twice, because there used to be
No, there is a cap. We can't go beyond what, each administrative citation has a cap at what we can actually do it. There's no limit to how many we can issue, but I can't come out and say like, oh, we've seen you here, I'm gonna jack this up.
I've seen
Yeah.
codes where if you're multiple.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Our enforcement is a little different than DEO,
Yeah.
but when DEO comes up, they can kind of explain their enforcement.
Yeah,
Also.
Yeah.
sure. Fire away.
Can't you use law enforcement against them?
We do. When we go out on unpermitted vending activities, we do go out with local law enforcement. But again, they are also subject to the same, laws and limitations that we are as well.
Can't
There's,
they, if nothing else, at least make them move?
again, we do. Like I said, we deprive them of their ability to really operate. We take all the food away, but there's nothing that doesn't stop them from resupplying and setting right back up after we leave. The same thing would hold true with law enforcement. There's nothing.
Once you take the food away, can't you just make them leave at that time?
We do. We tell them to leave.
Can't you make them?
In what way?
You can tell them anything.
We can.
They're just gonna let them go.
We can't. I cannot force them to depart by any kind of aggressive means. No, I can't. Like I said, it's not a criminal activity. They can't be arrested. They can't. They're on public property. If they're on private property, that can, yes, absolutely, it's different. If they're operating from, a parking lot, if they're operating from somebody's driveway or, private property, yes, that, we can work a little bit there. But if they're on a public easement or on a public, public right-of-way or public sidewalk, we can't, I don't have any enforcement powers to do anything with that. Law enforcement may, but again, they're also limited just like we are.
So if they block the sidewalk or walkway, who deals with that?
Usually it's your local law enforcement, so sheriff's department, when it comes to like ADA compliance or blocking a pedestrian right-of-way, you can talk with them about it. Mhm. Yeah,
You know what, like they were just saying, nobody buy from the guy.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta get that message out.
You got to get that message out there, and that's, yeah, 100%. I'm with you. And yeah, it's easier said than done. I can sit here and talk all day long, and we do ad nauseum. But oh yeah, if he didn't have customers, he wouldn't work. He'd find somewhere else. He'd go somewhere where there's a lot of more foot traffic. If nobody buys from him,
He has a lot of those permits and things on his glass. He's got permits.
sure. But he's cutting and chopping, right, without a hand sink.
Excuse me?
But he's cutting and chopping fruit without a hand sink, correct? Correct. Right. So while the cart the cart he may be operating from may at one point have had a permit, or he may even currently have a permit, he's operating outside of the scope of that permit, right? He's operating what would be a prepackaged cart, and again, not operating in a residential area, so he may be operating out of that. Now, the last I checked, he actually, is his permit suspended, or is it like gone now? I don't think he has a permit anymore, so it may have, like I said, the cart he's operating may have had a permit at one point. And tomorrow I'll go ahead and address it, because I believe it's the same guy on it's Marco's Fruits, right? Yeah.
135th and Ocean.
Yeah, I'll check in the morning.
You now have
If you-
two umbrellas and two little things going there.
So, yep. All right. Yes?
Could he be cited every day?
I don't have somebody I can send every single day, but potentially, yes.
But can he be cited?
Can he be cited? If we observe him operating beyond the scope of his permit, or if we observe him operating without a public health permit, it is possible that I can cite him.
But is it probable?
I don't have a crystal ball. Probably. I'll talk with my supervisor, and we'll figure it out.
He's here every day.
Mhm.
It's gonna take somebody 15 minutes to go cite him.
Well,
So-
Is everything that difficult when it seems so simple
no.
to me?
It's the way the code is written, Ari, and like he was saying, they can only do a citation. Citation doesn't escalate in value. So you've got the same problem here as they have in the village. They get $400,000 or $500,000 to cite whatever. These guys are making $6,000 to $7,000 a day. They don't care. There's no teeth. You can cite me all you want, I don't care.
Are you the only, for your violations,
no
are you the
physical
only department, or can the sheriff's department also cite?
There's no punishment.
I know, well, we cite to California Health and Safety Code. I know I think we're the only agency that cites to California Health and Safety Code for this particular types of violation.
Your department is the only entity that can cite.
There may be other violations, and again, it can kind of depend.
There's other violations, like you said, blocking the sidewalk.
But
So
I mean,
the
for
sheriff's-
just being there, doing what he's doing, so they can't come out and go, look, I don't see any permits or whatever. Here's the admin ticket, go talk to those guys. You
No.
understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, because of the way authority works. No, the sheriff's department can't come out, for example, and write them a ticket based off of California Health and Safety Code. We're the only ones that can do that. They may be other things that they could,
Right, yeah.
right? But it's different, yeah.
We're
They
the
can't
only
come
ones.
out and
Right.
see things.
Right, just like I can't, pull somebody over and cite them for speeding on
No,
the
but it's
freeway.
different. They
Right.
have a broader authority. It used to be you could go out, if there were stickers, if they didn't have permits or stickers, they gave them a ticket.
And
for not
SB
having that
and
sticker.
SB 946 deprived them of the ability to do that.
So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So you're the only one that can go and enforce your portion of it.
Our portion of it, yes.
And then we have
The sheriff used to take their cars.
Yep.
If I may, if someone were to eat from this cart and get sick, could they hold the county responsible?
You'd have to talk to a lawyer about that. I'm not qualified to provide legal advice. So, no, it's truthful, it's true. Good question, yes.
Is there a limit to the number of citations that an individual can give before some drastic action is taken?
The citation is the most drastic thing we can really do at this point.
But is there a limit to the number that they can give?
No,
in the end, it goes to collection.
yeah,
Or they pay it, like you said.
or they pay it.
If
Yeah.
they pay.
Yeah.
So they have one in front of Food for Less,
Mhm.
and they have one in front of the gas station on El Segundo and Ocean Gate.
Mhm.
Are they under the same scrutiny as the guy on 135th and Ocean Gate?
El Segundo and Ocean Gate, yes. Food for less, no, that's City of Hawthorne.
Well,
Food for less is City of Hawthorne. Ocean Gate and El Segundo is county.
But
we still, yeah. So while that is true, though, we're a countywide agency. So we enforce California Health and Safety Code everywhere within LA County, with the exception of Long Beach, Pasadena, and Vernon, because they have their own health departments.
Yeah, but again, with the City of Hawthorne,
The city of Hawthorne may have additional agencies that can respond out to that and enforce different parts of code. Usually it's code enforcement.
they have their own,
Right.
their own permit process. And these guys are allowed in very, very limited, strict areas.
Not without approval from us.
Maybe you're signing
Yeah.
off on it, but I just know
No.
that, this guy here,
Mhm.
a couple times moved over to the west side of the freeway, which is the City of Hawthorne, community college, where we're in right now.
Mhm.
They hooked him up with an Alex and gone.
Sure.
It won't stand. It should not stand.
Okay.
I just don't know why the county can't be the same way. I don't get it.
It depends. I'm not sure who's doing the enforcement in the city of Hawthorne.
It's Hawthorne PD. I personally made calls.
So you have different law enforcement agencies. They have different policies, different ways they do things.
Actually
Yeah.
walks the opposite.
Sure.
Take your shit, get out of here, You can't do that here, But we don't do that in the countryside.
That's because the county's too big. Hawthorne's just a certain area.
Well, many factors, sure, but it just,
The county's
it's
just
the
too big
same
for them to
issue
do
wherever
that.
you go. But yet, in the incorporated cities, at least it seems to me, there is a working understanding between vendor and the city, and it kind of functions. Here, it's willy-nilly free-for-all. I mean, again, go look at El Camino Village. I mean, the change in that neighborhood in the last 5 years, it's sad. You want to cry. These are homeowners, and what they have to deal with. And that's coming here, you guys. With the way things are going, that's gonna come here.
Yeah, the corner of Marine and Crenshaw. You got an entire restaurant set.
I mean, what they
Yeah.
have to do over there, just,
Yeah.
they're homeowners, just like we are. They pay their taxes. They pay for these services, and yet they get nothing when they have problems.
What's the
Anyway.
maximum amount of a violation that when you issue a citation?
So typically when we cite, it is, we'll cite to 3 times the annual permit fee. So depending on what type of operation, so a fruit cart is, normally to get that permit would be $299. So the maximum citation amount we would give would be close to 900.
So it's 3 times the
Yeah.
formula that they give you.
Sure. Yeah.
How often do you guys take to collect all the citations?
I don't have the stats on that. So I don't collect the money personally. It's paid through permits, so I don't know.
Is there some way you can give us the stats? I'd like to see how often the collections actually come through, whether they're
Sure.
even, worthwhile, or you just writing citations, and $900 citation, you gotta say, and nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a database of, who's paid, who's not paid.
Is there some way that can be made available to us? I'd like to see it.
That would be like a
Public records request.
Which you can request records from the department.
Mhm.
And we could give that information.
Yeah. Any other questions? Y'all are great. Any other questions?
Anybody else? DEO, while we're on the subject, you guys here? You
Come on
guys-
up.
you guys wanna chime in? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. My name is Felipe. I'm here from the Office of Small Business. Nice to see some familiar faces. I'll just jump straight into where we're leaving off on the conversation. We are currently still in the process, and I know we've been saying this for a while. Our sidewalk vending ordinance does fall under the Office of Small Business. We are in charge of the compliance with the sidewalk vending ordinance only in the unincorporated areas of Los Angeles County. So we have a team that's pretty small for the entirety of the county. What we're doing right now is we have a complaint, and I know some of you have heard this before, but we have a complaint on our website. Complete the complaint. Analu, who's the supervisor over the program, and the team work on going out there, giving out information. We're trying to get education and outreach. That's our first approach. Give information not only on our ordinances, but on DPH, TTCs, any information that we have to share. We've been to various of these locations throughout the last year and a half. One of the locations I think Analu's going to talk a little bit about, but we were able to go out there often and become a nuisance to them so that they could get their food truck permit. So they went from an unauthorized sidewalk vending to a food truck permit. But now I think they're trying to extend those operations. So it's just something that keeps growing. What I will remind everybody is that it's been decriminalized in California to have sidewalk vendors on the street. So to answer some questions about can we go out there with law enforcement, we really can't. That is something that you have to advocate for at the local level, your state assembly person, your state senators, your LA County Board of Supervisors, and let them know, what you'd like to see. Maybe in the future, policy can be changed. I heard a little bit about the difference between the city and the county and how in certain cities, they're able to more effectively respond to the sidewalk vending. And so what we've seen from our research is some of those cities have other resources that they combine, smaller geographical area. They're able to hit locations right away with the team and respond in real time, like what we'd all like to see, which unfortunately we can't do it here in the county. But we will follow up on each and every case on the complaint. We do know that one of the cities, at least two of them, I think, one of them being LA City, got sued for trying to restrict sidewalk vending to a specific location. And they had to amend that and remove that. So we know certain things that we can and cannot do, which is why we've been a little slow in the compliance part of the ordinance. We've drafted it. We are about to send it back to our county council for feedback, but it's going to include what we've just talked about, administrative fines. What can my team do when they go out there? They'll ask for IDs, but under no way, shape, or form are we forced for them to give us the ID. So if they refuse to give us ID, we make a note of the location, any numbers on the cart, any name on the cart, and we follow up within our intergovernmental or inter-county work group, which we have TTC representative, DPH, DPW, and we bring these cases, and Analu on a biweekly basis highlights those cases that are redundant that we've been through. So I don't want you to think that we're not doing anything. We only go out there. We're also trying to follow up with the other ordinances, which I heard here, of how we can team up and ensure that everybody's aware of these, especially the vendors that are doing this on a repetitive basis. What I will tell you is that even if our compliance here at DEO is 100% ironclad with what we can do based on our ordinance, there's going to be individuals that refuse to give us ID. There's going to be individuals that look at the administrative fine and say, oh, I'll wait till the next one, and we'll go to the next one. And so we have no authority to go out every single day and ask them to move. In fact, some of them have complained. They've filed complaints against us for going out there too many times to visit them. And Annalu can give you some stories. We've been to like one location. What would you say is the record? Like 6, 7 times?
Probably 7, 8 times.
7 or 8 times to a certain location. So the team's going out there. It's something it's very hard that when the law, the Senate Bill 946. 946, yeah. So the Senate Bill is 946. If you want to look it up, it's on our website as well, and we'll give that information to the group. But it's one of those things that there was no guidance in terms of what we could do at the local level. It just basically got decriminalized, and here every county, every jurisdiction, or every municipality, now you all have to develop your own enforcement compliance, however you want to refer to it, and try to make individuals follow it. We're trying to do the best we can. It's been slow moving. We have a lot of data, a lot of locations. We've identified you shouldn't call them hotspots, areas where there's a conglomerate of a lot of sidewalk vendors. We've seen things from organized, and the main thing that we see are the organized setups that are happening where individuals are actually working for somebody else. And so that's what we're trying to see with our interdepartmental work group, what we can do to elevate and escalate those. And I know DPH has a process of investigations for the big warehouse. So it's one way that we try to feed information to the departments and work together. Believe it or not, we've had county councils from each and every single department meet on multiple occasions this year. And this year alone, trying to go through what can and cannot be enforced and set into compliance in the unincorporated area. All that to say is our compliance is being drawn. Hopefully, and we said this last time, we'd get it back soon. We're going to submit it back with some changes. If you want to follow up, I would suggest that you also ask your supervisorial district representative. I think Ara is the representative here, so you can always talk to her. Hey, Felipe mentioned the compliance policies coming out. When can we expect it? If you want to set up some of those questions. But hopefully we'll get it out to you soon. And we'll start issuing administrative fines on the DEO side. And just so you know, DEO does not issue a sidewalk vending registration certificate for a food vendor without DPH's approval. So they need the DPH's approval first for the unincorporated areas, except for those 3 cities that were, the 3 cities that were mentioned that have their own health department. So, yes, sir.
Excuse me for saying this, and I don't want to upset anybody. Basically, pretty much what I've heard tonight from both of you is your hands are tied. Well,
all I can give you is my personal take on all this, having dealt with this the last couple of years. And I could be wrong, but it seems to me, at least in my lifetime, the state of California doesn't pass any law without some sort of wiggle room where local counties and municipalities kind of implement their own. They have an umbrella, this is what we'd like to see, but here's your little wiggle room. I think that what we're dealing with in the county is by choice of our board of supervisors. They choose not to persecute people. That's what I think.
So really, we have no consequences for that.
That's kind of how it seems to me.
yeah.
We saw a similar thing with these buildings. We saw a similar thing with these buildings. The city of Gardena got involved in helping the village. And the outcome of that was basically a shouting match. And the state telling the county, you're wrong. The law is this. This is the wiggle room you have. You're misinterpreting. I think the same thing is going on here.
Yeah,
Supervisors have chosen how they want to implement this.
what I would say is there's avenues. I mean, we've been out with DPH when they confiscate food. We've been out there when they issue the administrative fines that they're issuing. We've been out there with the sheriffs as an escort to DPH when they're out there. And what I've seen is the food will cease for a while, and then 2 or 3 hours later, the operation's back up. DPH has had some operations, and to their credit, they've been able to do, under special circumstances, 1 week of, I think you all did like every other day visits or something, and there seemed to have some effect on that in Supervisorial District 5. So I'm not sure if that will be something that continues when food keeps getting confiscated, but we are looking at, and this is where I would say, from what I've seen, we can't change the policy, but if you all want to advocate or follow up with your representative is say, why can't we retract the equipment? Or why can't we take the equipment? Under our ordinance, we're not allowed to take the equipment. So we take food, right, or DPH confiscates food, the equipment's still there. We have nowhere to store it, we don't have the facilities, we don't have the resources, we don't have the trucks to go out there. But if that is something that other areas or cities are doing, I'm not saying they are, that is something that you could say, hey, or at least get an explanation, why are we not taking or confiscating the equipment? There.
You said District 5, that's Barber, isn't it?
Yeah, we went up to SD5 and there was a special.
Barber on the board is probably one of the more conservative ones. In her district, she was able to get a little more enforcement. Can you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I'll let Anlu add anything that I might have missed, but we're up here to take questions. I don't know, DPH, if you want to add to anything that we say, or let me know if I say something I wasn't supposed to.
Eric, you want to say something?
I have
So-
a question. What's the best way to file a complaint with you guys?
What is it?
Best way to file a complaint?
It is through our website. We have a QR code. We can get you the contact information. We have some flyers in the back, and then we can get that to you so you can file your complaint. And we will go to the locations. We will educate the vendors because that's the process that we are right now. Like Felipe was telling you, we have here in District 2 a location. We have been 8 times, and now the vendor is saying that we are harassing them. Right? Because you have to understand, and I need you to think about this. This is a business, right? It is about supply and demand. Unfortunately, you guys are opposed to this, but they have a lot of customers. They are here or wherever they are, it's because they make money.
But I mean, the customer base is generally passive. They have no vested interest in the community. They just drive and say, oh, look, let me get
Yeah, but that is like you guys, one of you said before, right? You would like to invite your neighbors to, not purchase and stuff like that, but it is a business. And SB 946, if you want to take a look at that, you will realize that that's the state law. There's really no wiggle room. It's very specific. I would suggest that you guys read it. I see you guys at all the meetings. Take a look at it, SB 946. SB 946 specifically says that no city, no county can prohibit sidewalk vending. They cannot restrict the areas where they are unless these areas.
That's our contention.
Correct.
It's a restriction. This is a residential neighborhood.
Correct.
In front of someone's home. That guy should not be there. Everyone else is done. I'm a rich friend. Fine.
No,
But not
that
here.
one is.
That's the problem.
And we continue to talk to him. And Department of Public Health continues to visit this location. This location, we continue to visit him. But like we told you, and like the Department of Public Health told you, these are administrative fines. We do not have the authority to remove him physically, and because it's no longer a criminal act, the sheriff department would not do anything about it. They have told us it needs to be a crime happening for us to come, right? If it is not a crime, we can come with you, which usually when they go to operations, the sheriff department is there to keep the peace, just in case somebody, gets out of line, so the sheriff department is there to do that. But because it is no longer a crime, thanks to SB 946, that's why you cannot.
This is the issue you guys created. When you created this ordinance, nobody had the sense to say, hey, if this guy's in a residential neighborhood and he continues to be there, what ultimately are we going to do if we're going not to allow this?
The state prescribes that. No, you read SB 946. Yeah. Rita is doing I-46. The state prescribes it specifically.
You guys move, but yet you can't. Why?
I don't know. I
The board does not want it. That's what
There are
it
a
is.
lot of cities that are violating the state rule, but the county is not going to do that. So the county will not violate state law, so that's what we're going to do. The city of LA got sued before doing that. Yes, sir, sorry about that.
I guarantee you, if this person was in front of Holly Mitchell's house, they wouldn't be there. So my suggestion is, go tomorrow, give him Holly's address, and tell him to please move in.
Is this the gentleman who
serious.
received he had community support for GoFundMe? You might
Off
want to
their
mention
ass
that.
is for them to be aggravated.
Okay, we hear you. Unfortunately, we can't do
So
that, but
tomorrow when I drive by there, I expect to see him not there, and he's at Holly's house.
yes, sir.
I have a question. Since he's operating a commercial business in a residential area, can't you get him for that?
Yeah, so we have visited him. He has gotten fined by the Department of Public Health. And, it is a cycle. We continue to follow the process. But as I said, we don't have the ability to remove him physically from there. The farthest it gets is that he gets fined. He has gotten his permit from Public Health suspended. He fixes things for a little bit, but then, it's just a cycle. A lot of the vendors in your area specifically see the cost of the citations as a cost of doing business.
What we will do with this case, and I know Analu's probably not going to like this too much for me, but what we will do for this case is we'll follow up with this case again. We'll put it back to the work group. We do have to find out a little bit more about residential zoning, and obviously DPH has the authority they have, but there might be other departments in the county that might have responsibility over zoning.
Piece of public property.
Is there
Zoning
anything-
related to private property,
Anything,
but
Eric,
not
that
private property.
that we could think about for this specific case? Because he is in front of a house, and I had Brian send me a couple emails and pictures and, the videos, yeah.
It's regional planning that is over zoning, and you just have to bring this situation to them to see if it's within the scope of what they do, because businesses that are being conducted in residential areas have to abide by a certain standard.
Right.
And depending on the type of traffic that they bring, regional planning looks at, I'm not from regional planning, I'm from the Treasurer and Tax Collector's Office, but I've worked with them for years, and one of the things that they look at is if it changes the intent of the area that the business is being conducted in. So if this food cart is in a residential area and there's a long line of people that are blocking the sidewalks and all those kind of things, that's what would get their attention. Unfortunately, if it's not disrupting the intent of the area, then they more than likely will not intervene. It's a nuisance, but setting up a lemonade stand is not disrupting the intent of the community either, or a residential area either. So it's really looking at, is it disrupting the intent? And that's what, are there long lines of cars that are double parked getting this food? That's something that they could possibly get. Parking enforcement would have to get involved with that. But again, when you're looking at businesses in residential areas, are they disrupting the intent of the area? That's what it's
Isn't them
looked at.
just being there disrupting the intent of the area?
Well, I think what Eric is saying, would you make the same argument if a little 10-year-old got a lemonade stand out there? Saying it's the same thing, and that's how they look at it. I mean, that's a very good point.
Yeah, but
In all fairness, with this particular guy,
Yeah.
because we're a residential area, you don't have the real traffic flow. So his customers are, one or two at a time, so.
Yeah, but they double park, they park in the red, there
Yeah,
are
no,
issues.
they do,
It's not
but
intended
is
for
it,
that,
is it
so-
disrupting the neighborhood?
Sure, it does.
Yeah, but that's a very good point. We're definitely going to follow up on this one. I want to see all the details, because me, myself, I don't know what that limit is, to Eric's clarity. So hopefully we'll get an answer from the work group and see, who would be responsible and possible next steps for somebody other than us coming to visit that individual. I don't know if regional planning goes out or if they ever go out, right? Yeah. So,
Probably not for itinerant business,
right.
that's mobile business.
So, yeah, we'll take a look back into this specific case, yeah.
Like, for example, if they couldn't operate in, let's say, a parking lot where there's a 7-Eleven because there's a conditional use permit that says that that business can't have any other businesses operating in their general area. So, but I'm not sure, they would probably more look at 7-Eleven for allowing it than addressing the actual vendor.
That's what's happening at Marine Crenshaw, 7-Eleven right
Anything
there.
to add?
There's a mini restaurant set up right there, and partially on the private area of the street, of the sidewalk, but they're also on 7-Eleven's lot. And they've got an entire restaurant set
I
up.
have another
Yes,
question,
sir.
going back to, you guys are receiving complaints for going out and doing enforcement. I don't understand that portion because, say there's a traffic problem, people keep running a stop sign. So the people that run a stop sign complain to the cops and then the cops go away? I mean, unless it's written in SB 946 or you have a specific policy that says you can't go out there more than once. I understand, kind of, I don't agree with it, but is that what's going on? Or you just they're getting tired of receiving complaints, so you can't go out there?
Oh, we go, I'm telling you what we're hearing, but we're not stopping. We continue to go
Right, well,
visit,
You made mention that
talking
if
to
you
them.
go out there 7 times, you're getting complaints.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
they complain,
But
the
that
vendors.
doesn't stop you or hinder you from going out.
I'm just telling you that now
Yeah.
they feel that
But-
they are being targeted.
No, not at all. This is a good question. Yeah, we're going to keep going out there, but in all fairness to you all, it's our compliance that the policy needs to be finalized. So I'm being honest and I'm being transparent, because we've come to this meeting before and I've told you we're working on it, then county council shoots it back. And to some of your points, the ordinance, when it was being written, had all sorts of things that you've mentioned, and county council said, nope, we can't do that, we can't do that. So it was talked about, it was researched. We were like one of the ones to wait to implement the ordinance, but I will hold us responsible for that compliance policy. That's what we're trying to wrap up. And at least with that, we'll have statistics of administrative fines issued at a certain location per district, and can give you those ongoing numbers when we come to these meetings so that you can at least see what we're doing and if it's yielding any benefits. Once we finish our policy, we are going to be held to the Board of Supervisors to provide a report on our ordinance. So we will also bring that to you so that you can see what we ask for in terms of additional resources, additional equipment, trainings that our staff have to do, because our staff technically, when the Department of Economic Opportunity started, it didn't start with, oh, you guys are going to be responsible for the sidewalk vending ordinance. A little bit more than you need to know, but just a little bit of history. Like, the positions we're using for this were different items, individuals that, was not intended, that were intended to be out there with this form of thing. So we're trying to navigate labor issues, compliance issues, all trying to do that and get it into the policy. And that's what I can tell you from our side that we'll definitely focus on. We will follow up on that case. I definitely want to make sure we try to get as much as we can on that one. And then we'll take it back to our supervisor, Layla Lee, who works with and meets with every supervisorial district with our director, Kelly Lobianco, and we give her updates on what we're seeing. So I don't want you to think that, even though you're bringing up the same issues at the same meeting, that it's not being raised. SD2, Ara was in the email. Felipe, you have to go back out there. Who are you bringing with you? I was like, Ana Luz coming with me. We brought Suli, our staff, too, so that we can, get out there to the community and let you know that we really do care. The team's working incredibly hard, and I know you all see what's out there, but with the team that we have, I think we're definitely trying to do the best we can. Ana Luz spend, several hours every week trying to get to events, trying to give information on the weekends too. Our staff going out to the events, working with DPH, keeping them in the loop on things that we're doing, the TTC. So we are working, your tax dollars are at work. We're trying the best to be good stewards of funding that we have. But I would leave you with anything that you want to see changed in terms of policy, rules, laws, that sort of thing, submitted to, your elected officials, supervisorial district representative or a supervisor, your state assembly person, your state senator, get that information out. And the more of you that submit, it's always best because then we hear from multiple sources. Because one of the most popular cases that we sometimes have to deal with is because there's that push from the Board of Supervisors saying, hey, my staff's been arguing about this case over and over again. Now, I know doesn't really provide too much benefit, but I do advise you to keep bringing these cases up. So thank you for your time, and let us know if anything else we can do for you.
Your
Yeah.
citations, when they're, your admin sites, when they're ready to be used, is your department the only one that's going to be able to issue them, or can the sheriffs also issue them?
Correct. Only we will be able to issue them. Yeah. And we will be issuing to both registered and unregistered vendors. So that'll be the policy. I think DPH talked about what that's going to look like in the back end when people don't pay. Because I think I saw somebody say like the sign, like they just rip it up. We can't stop them from doing that. So where we go from there, that's where we're going to take it to our county council. And that's part of what's being built into the policy. We have 4 administrative citations. That's what our ordinance calls for. Now what? Can we send them to collections? Who's going to collect? Which department's going to follow up? And I think if we can make some examples of some vendors, then we'll be able to say like our ordinance definitely has the teeth. But yeah, definitely that's brewing is that policy that needs to be finalized.
That's it. It's yours.
Yep. Thank you, guys. And I just, again, just real quick, I know sometimes questions get heated, but I can tell you honestly from my heart, I deal with Felipe and other meetings and Eric as well. We get a little more in the weeds of some of these things. And I truly believe both these guys, they're very working, they hear us. They really do. We've had some long conversations, you, me, and Tim, and, they hear us. It's just, it's a complicated mess. It's what's been created. It's not their fault. It's just, it's a mess. Anyways. Anybody got anything else to say? I got a couple of announcements. Put my glasses on because I'm old and I can't see. Superintendent Silvers, Blake, wanted to make you guys aware of the field and the progress. Basically, work is advancing across field and building despite recent weather delays. Substantial completion now tracked for February 11th, 2026. Which reflects the delay due to soil conditions encountered at the start of construction, whatever the heck that means. The site and the fields, site dugout frame, week of 11/25, that's going on now. Install metal decking, starts 12/1. Perimeter fencing, the Little League, installation underway, started today as a matter of fact. Scoreboard and marquee, pull wiring through scoreboard, started 11/19. Install freestanding digital marquee, starts 11/24. Synthetic turf scope, mobilization complete. Header bore installation starts 11/17. Field drain scheduled 11/21. Fine grading field base, impermeable liner follows drainage. Turf installation starts 12/5. Exterior color coat on plaster starts 11/19. Interior drywall starts 11/19. Painting starts 12/2. There's more. So they're making progress. Oh no, that's just my crime staff. So that was it. So that's the latest on the field. Anybody got any questions on that? No? Okay. Eric, did you have anything you want to final say? You're good?
Well, I'd like to just introduce myself. I haven't been here before. My name is Eric Barnes. I'm with the Los Angeles County Treasurer and Tax Collector's Business License Division. We license about 110 different businesses and occupations in the unincorporated area partner with DEO with the street vending, because typically when there are a lot of street vendors, there are food trucks, and we license the food trucks, but we're not limited, of course, to just licensing food trucks. We license automotive places, taxis, hotels, restaurants. If you have concerns about businesses, certain businesses that are out of compliance, certainly you can contact our office, and we can let you know whether or not the business that you have concerns about is within the scope of the businesses that we license, and we will, have one of our inspectors go out, and we, added on another component to our enforcement. We're now working on administrative fines. We haven't had those in a number of years, but now we have added that component to it. So, we're here, we try to go to as many community meetings as possible, and we partner with several departments because we work with a lot of departments because they all have to go out and approve many of these businesses that are applying for licenses with us. So, again, I'm Eric Barnes, and this is Daniel, he's one of the inspectors. And so if you have questions, you can reach us at 213-974-2011, the business license section. If you have complaints, certainly share them with us, and we will come out, we'll visit the businesses to try and, get them into compliance. One of the challenges that we have, and I think that it was a good intent, we meaning the county, we were promoting business growth and pro-business, that compliance kind of got overshadowed. Compliance has always been there, a certain level, but when we're promoting business growth and you have lots of people, that want to apply for businesses, the board of supervisors, and their initiatives to try and expand business growth, and we mentioned complaints earlier, if we continue to go visit a business. Well, if you contact the board and say that, this department has come out multiple times and they're harassing us, they're gonna reach out to us and ask us what's going on. They're not going to do it to discipline us. They're not gonna even tell us not to go out. They want to know the full scope of the reason why we go out there. And, I believe it's slowly kind of changing, and I think enforcement is starting to be on the forefront, because I've heard a number of departments now are working on implementing these administrative fines. It's a daunting task, but you're not helpless, and at least PPC, we don't feel as though we're helpless when it comes to enforcing businesses that are out of compliance. There are certain hoops that we have to jump through, but it is something that is doable. There are certain things that are already in place. Certain departments have levels of enforcement, and I just think that they have to be utilized more. But it's we certainly understand the frustration, because we're frustrated at times. But we are here to work with you and try to address as many concerns that you have.
Thank you, sir. Okay, guys, Santa stops coming 12/20. Be ready. Our toy recipient this year was going to be the California Highway Patrol. So we'd appreciate any toys you guys can give, unwrapped toys for a girl or boy, or you can do both. Bring them with you at the stops, and we'll collect them at that point. CHP is going to have a truck or a van with them so they can take them directly back to the station. There is the possibility of a change at stop 6. Darla's having knee surgery again, and she really doesn't want to participate, and I can't blame her. There's been conversations amongst the board of either keeping the stop there at the sidewalk or maybe moving it across the street to the cutout of the walking path. Either way, we will continue to have a stop there, but it might be on the other side of the street, so just be aware of that. The flyer should be coming out soon, and that will basically determine where Harley's decide to put the stop. I've advocated for keeping it in the same place. We just do it on the sidewalk like we always have. We just won't have Darla's side gate open. There won't be any cocoa or anything at that particular stop this year, but, you know, we'll work through it. What else? Elections are coming up. We're in desperate need of board members, you guys. Please, you all live here. You all want to make it a better place to live, to raise your family. You got to get involved. Our board has reached the point to where most of us have kind of come to the end of our rope. I've done this for almost 20 years. I haven't shared this with a lot of you, but I lost my wife in June to cancer. And my life has changed. I have different priorities. I'm probably not going to seek another position on this board. I've got to find ways to move forward in my life. So, that being said, we need help. Eddie's got his father with him now. His father's got dementia. That's become very challenging for him. So, just something to think about. There will be an election sheet, I think, right, Patrick, on the website where you can go to. You can nominate yourselves. You can nominate a friend. I, of course, will always be here at any given moment for you guys for any reason. Call me up, send me a text, whatever. But it's very possible you will not be seeing me in the same capacity. I just, life's changing, you know, for me and for a lot of us. So, something to think about. Again, Santa stops 12:20. We'll try to be at the first stop by 4:45 or 5 o'clock. Business as usual. We'll make a bunch of noise. We'll have fire department. We'll have the sheriff. We'll have CHP and all the kiddies. We'll have little toys for the kids like we do every year. And Santa will be there in his chair. And should be fun. Questions, open forum. Anything you guys want to talk about? Nothing? Okay. We're out of here. Thanks for coming, you guys.